White sugar, or sucrose, is a product traditionally used to sweeten drinks and foods, especially in baking. The most consumed is the one extracted mainly from sugarcane, which, despite the growing alternatives, is the king when it comes to flavor. However, this substance is also found naturally in almost all foods, although not of the same type, as it is not refined. Thus, sugars are divided between free such as white and intrinsic the seconds. However, white or table sugar, which is added to flavor food and make it more sweet, is a food that is associated with overweight problems. This is because it contains empty calories, that is, it does not contain any type of nutrient. Therefore, the WHO recommends that its consumption should be reduced to less than 10% of the total caloric intake. In this way, although it can be consumed and helps to make many foods and recipes more palatable, its consumption should always be done in moderation and within a varied diet. As we have said, the consumption of sugar should always be done in moderation since excessive consumption leads to overweight and dental caries problems. However, this food has a series of properties that can help us, such as its easy absorption by the body. This assumes that it is a quick source of energy for the brain, muscles and nervous system. Thus, it produces a feeling of well-being after consuming it at times when our body needs sugar. In addition, it provides a sweet flavor to other foods that do provide a large amount of nutrients, such as milk. Sugar is the most widely used and controversial food additive, since no product has been so questioned and controversial. The controversy can become so controversial, ranging from accusing sugar of all the evils of humans, to being a compound that sweetens our lives. Well, in order not to be so extreme, we will try to answer some of the many doubts and myths that exist around this food. An ingredient present in almost every meal. An important point when talking about sugar is to bear in mind that it is present and hidden in most of the food products we consume. Most industrial products contain sugar in high amounts that we must control in order not to exceed 50 grams per day, considered acceptable for a 2,000 kilocalories daily diet. Examples: 1 sweetened yogurt, 30 grams of sugar, 3 cookies, 10 grams of sugar, 1 glass of cola drink, 25 grams of sugar, 50 grams of chocolate, 35 grams of sugar. In a healthy diet, only 20% of the carbohydrates we consume daily should come from sugar. Therefore, if we do not take into account the hidden sugar in food, in addition to what we add on our own to meals or drinks, the amount consumed will be well above those recommendations. Sugar itself is not harmful, since it is a natural substance found in foods such as fruits and vegetables. Its function is to provide energy for all the cells in our body to function. The pros and benefits of sugar: fast energy. Sucrose in common sugar is quickly transformed into glucose and fructose, which are absorbed, providing immediate fuel. Feeling of well-being, since it alleviates the discomfort and anxiety that generates hypoglycemia, low blood sugar level. To avoid hypoglycemia, the ideal is to consume complex carbohydrates, such as pasta, potatoes, rice, and many others, since the starch they contain is released little by little over hours, maintaining a stable blood glucose level, without ups and downs. It is not allergenic. Sugar is a refined and purified product, which does not trigger any allergic reaction. Instead, honey or syrups can do it. The cons of sugar: they correspond especially to common sugar and to all refined and purified sugars. Replaces other foods, but it turns out to be a poor substitution. When we consume sugar, we are satisfied, the appetite disappears, and as a consequence, the intake of other healthy and necessary foods is diminished, being harmful to health. Obesity and overweight. In both children and adults, the consumption of sugar and sugary foods are one of the causes of those two problems. Dental cavities. All sugars, including natural ones from fruits, cause cavities, since the bacteria present in the oral cavity transform them into acids that damage tooth enamel. In addition to sugars, other dietary and genetic factors and a lack of oral hygiene intervene in their formation. Triglycerides. Consuming sugar increases the level of triglycerides in the blood, thereby increasing the risk of coronary heart disease. Nutritional imbalance. This is due to the fact that all sugars are made up only of carbohydrates, so they lack protein, fat, vitamins, minerals and fiber. Metabolic imbalance: to metabolize sugar, which is then converted into energy in our body, we need vitamins and minerals. Both sugar and refined foods lack vitamin B1 and calcium, the most important nutrients for carrying out this metabolism. For this reason, the organism is forced to use its reserves of vitamins and calcium, which impoverishes or diminishes it, negatively affecting our health. Some recommendations: we must understand that sugar is not bad in itself, but is considered harmful because of the way it is used and consumed and because of the nutrients it replaces. That is why it is said that it only provides us with empty calories, since it lacks nutritional substances. In general, sugar is added to unhealthy foods, so those who are eating large amounts of sugar, or foods refined with sugar, are actually consuming other unhealthy nutrients, fats. Each gram provides 4 kilocalories, and it is estimated that the current consumption of developed countries is around 8,100 grams per day, being well above the 50 grams considered acceptable. Therefore, this unused excess is transformed by our body into fat, causing weight gain. The less sugar we consume, the better. No person needs to add extra sugar to their diet if they eat fruits and vegetables. Fruit turns out to be the healthiest way to take sugar, and thus satisfy the desire to taste something sweet, without endangering our health.